Yeah, hello everybody. This is Howard, the Teaserking, coming to you with Week 15 of the NFL. Huge week last week. I was 8-3. All the big games came in. Seattle, Baltimore, Philadelphia. All my methods seem to be working well. Really, the only surprise was Monday night in New England. I'm not sure what happened there. Game looked awfully fixed to me. Brady couldn't hit anybody. Are they looking ahead at Pitt? All of a sudden, Cutler looked good. I mean, give me a break. They'll probably get shut out by Buffalo this week. Miami will. New England will probably beat Pittsburgh. And then, okay, what happened last week? No, sometimes Monday night the players play better. I blame the coaches because if they're that good, why aren't they playing like that every week? If you can beat Miami, you can beat New England at home, you can beat anybody. So why do you only have 2 or 3 wins or whatever they have? 6 wins, something. They're not a very good team. Anyway, so I don't think I had a lock last week, but my video hit. The free plays hit. I have one lock going this weekend in the pros. Very strong lock. I'm getting a little bit more into the team versus team in the division because those games are starting to come up. Last week, what did I have? Baltimore and Pitt was one of those trends where Baltimore, the dog is the play, and Baltimore is a great road dog, and in the stats they're even, so it was a beautiful play. But it's hard to lock against like a Pittsburgh or a New England. So this is why I'm not locking the game sometimes when it's a good play, but I'd rather lock against a softer team than against a New England, a Pittsburgh, or whatever. This week I've got, besides the lock, I'll have a play on Saturday. All of a sudden it's 2 games on Saturday, which will be good, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more plays. Playing the Monday night game. A couple of missed favorites. I was talking to this guy from Las Vegas, and what he tells me, I just have a hard time. Basically, the theory of being a bookie is you have even betting on both sides. Right? You want $1,000 on Detroit, $1,000 on Chicago, you win $100. That's what a real bookie does. And from what I'm hearing, that's not what these guys in Vegas are doing. They think they're smarter than everybody. They know the results, that they're moving lines from -2 to +2. They're moving lines from 5.5 to 4.5. Not condensive to the money moving the line. They're moving it on their own, which is extremely dangerous because a lot of good bettors would trap the games, and they would win one or win the other or win both, and they couldn't lose both. You never move the spread like that unless the money's moving it. So it's a very dangerous game they're playing, and they will lose. Their spreads, I've noticed, have been way off on a lot of games. I don't know what they're doing. Their over-unders, I mean, if you can get an over-under on Sunday or Monday for the week, it's 6 points better than what it ends up at normally. The other problem I'm having with the Vegas line is they don't want even money bet on the game. There was a UCF played Memphis in the conference championship game. They put the over-under at 85. Nobody's going over 85, and the line went down to 81. So people bet the under. See, here's where they're trying to outthink everybody. They're going, I know it'll be a high-scoring game. We'll set the total at a high number. Nobody will bet over. People will bet under, and we'll win all the under action. And that is a terrible, terrible way to set the line. It's not what you want. You don't want risk. I want $1 million on over and $1 million on the under at the same number. So in other words, that line should have been 77. And you would have got $1 million over and $1 million under, and it went up to 100, which is fine, and you would have cleaned up on the under people. It didn't matter. You would have won the juice. That's what you're there for. You're the bookie. You're making your money on the juice. That's it. You're not making your money hoping that everybody bets to one way and then you'll miraculously win it. Now, if the games are fixed, which if you watch, everybody says, "Oh, you can't fix. How are you gonna pay off Tom Brady? You can't. He makes too much money." It ain't the players that are fixing the game. FYI, it's the referees. Okay, occasionally the Oakland players sit out because of the national anthem crap. That one we caught and we saw that one. But normally, like New England, yeah, Brady didn't play well. You know, oh, it's just an accident, I guess. And the refs called a holding penalty at the inopportune time where the pass interference. That's how the refs fix the games. The refs don't make any money. They're making 40, 50, maybe 60 grand a year. It's a part-time job for them. They're the perfect people to fix the game because it doesn't matter what the guy does. Quarterback throws a touchdown, oop, there's holding. The other team needs to score, whoop, pass interference. So you got to be careful on that. The more I'm listening to people who discuss this, the more, it's like, why would the bookie not make the line even? Only if he knows what's going to happen, which he doesn't. I don't know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen 75% of the time, but I had New England over Miami. They played 100 times. New England wins 99 of them. I'll tell you that, but that was the one time. But generally, you hit the number right on the head. You get even betting. So this is where Teaserking comes in. Not only are we doing the teasers, but I'm coming in with the real line. And I know the real good teams. And I know the real bad teams. Not what the media, Dallas and, whatever they think are the best teams or the popular teams. I read it through all that shit. Basically, it's just I'm picking the bad line and we're going with it. And with the teaser, it's a real bad line. So that's what I'm looking at. I'll tell you, the worst line on here is New Orleans laying 15.5 to the Jets. Now you're not going to see any New Orleans bets on this game. The only way you could play this is the Jets. The Jets, I'm not going to say have the best quarterback on the field, but Bryce Petty's really damn close to Drew Brees. At least he was in college at Baylor, and he's still an outstanding quarterback. So you're giving that guy 15.5 with a good Jet offense. I'm not playing that game, but you cannot play New Orleans minus 9.5 in that game. They made that line. That's not a good line. It's a terrible line. That line should be 10 or 11, and you'd have equal betting on. Make it 10.5, 11, and then you'd have a lot of Jet action at 11, and then you're going to have the same Jet action at 15 as you will at 11, but you'll get New Orleans action. You're not going to see this spread. What would it start at? I see it 15.5, 16. It's still 15.5, 16. It's not going anywhere. Nobody's betting New Orleans. It's too high. Maybe you bet over. Kamara's playing. Bryce Petty will put up 20 on him if McCown or whoever the damn quarterback was on the Jets. Petty's better than him by a mile. So if he was putting up 20 a game, I look for this guy to put up 20 a game. But as I said, this isn't one of my picks. This is just an example of a bad line. You're not getting equal action on this game. The spread's too high to take New Orleans. The quarterback's out. Do I take the Jets? Maybe it's an over or an under. The over-under is 47. Probably an over game, but again, I'm not playing this game. But I'm just saying it's an example of a terrible spread. So let's look at some good spreads. Let's go Minnesota. There's so many to choose from. I'm salivating. All right, let's go Seattle laying 2 to the Rams. RAMS, Rams. In the series between Seattle and the Rams, now it's a funny one because most of the games will be playing with St. Louis. in an indoor stadium, not grass, not outdoors. Different coaches. Even with that, the dog in the series is 12-2. The Rams, as the dog in the series, is 9-1. Seattle's 6-1 at home, 10-1 altogether. So it's a very dynamic. I was hoping that the Rams would be favored and I'd take Seattle as a home dog, but that didn't happen. However, the way these bookmakers in Vegas are mishandling everything, I could see where by game time the Rams will be 2-point favorites. How to bet this game? Right now I like the Rams +8. This is my first pick. They're a good dog. It's a playoff game. They both need the game. I think Seattle's got way too many injuries. I like the way the Rams came back against Philly. They certainly can score, and they're certainly going to score on Seattle. It's funny, is I actually think this game could go over. It's 48 is an over-under, which I think is a high line considering the Rams have a fairly good defense. But I'm going to take the 8 and the Rams. You get over a touchdown. Make sure you get over a touchdown. I get a lot of emails from my customers going, well, the spread moved 2-3 points. Should I still bet it? Yeah, I mean, as long as you want the dog here. So the dog's going to give you at least 1.5, and you're going to go over 7. So that's your first key. It's a teaser. You want over 7. At this time, Thursday night, the Seattle's favored by 2. You want the Rams at 8.5. I just really don't see, without Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor and the linebackers now hurt. I want to say Bobby somebody on Seattle. I can't think of his name. Bobby Wagner. So he's got a hamstring. He left the game. He had a hamstring going into the game. He left the game with the hamstring. So their defense is not Legion of Boom. They're not giving up 5 points a game like they normally do. Russell Wilson scores. He finds a way. He puts up 24 on Jacksonville, another part of the winner of last week with Seattle-Baltimore. You put up 24 on Jacksonville. At Jacksonville, you're going to put up 24 on the Rams. Rams should be good for 30. If Jacksonville scores 30 on Seattle, the Rams will score in the 30s. So the over's getting more and more attractive, and I think it'll hit also. But this play is take the points in a playoff game. You get 8 points. All right, let's get into the numbers, which is what I love to do. You have the Rams score 30 a game, give up 20. They're a +10. You have Seattle scores 24 a game, gives up 19, a +4.8. We'll call that 5 points. So Seattle's a +5, and the Rams are a +10. The Rams are fairly healthy. I know their cornerbacks went out. It doesn't matter. In the NFL, the backup corners and secondary are all pros. They're fairly good. There's a lot of talent in college. Doesn't get drafted because these GMs are clueless what they're doing. They'll draft a tight end or they'll draft an offensive lineman. How many times have we seen that? And then they're terrible, or their systems are terrible. So the Rams, and this is one I love, is really 5 points better than Seattle, and they're getting points. Well, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense. Now the same thing happened when they played at Minnesota. They were getting points, but I think they learned from that. I don't think you'll see Seattle 24-7, not with the defense Seattle has with all the injuries. I mean, they got 4 starters out at least, if not 5. Seattle, I'm talking. And the Rams, they got some secondary men banged up. If they play, they're going to be injured. But as long as you have the balance, as long as you have Goff, who I don't really care for, and you have Gurley and you have the receivers, it's a balance and it's a good coach, they'll score points, which is what you need when you take the dog. You need a good defense and a team that scores to take the dog. Can they win the game? Absolutely. And they learned. They lost the first time 16-10, but Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner all played, and this is the first time the Rams saw that. Now here they come, and the Rams they've seen it. They got used to it. Like I said, they're 9-1 against them, And in the first meeting, the play was the dog, and I had Seattle getting points at LA, which is my favorite when I get Seattle in points. So anyway, I see this game being close, 30-28, 30-27, fairly high scoring. You can definitely bet the over on it. The play I'm using is the Rams plus the 8. Absolutely, it's a good spot. Let me go through some more of the numbers. The Rams this year aren't exactly, world beaters against the number. They're 9-4. They're 3-3 as a home favorite, but on the road they're 6-1. They're 2-1 as a road dog. Seattle as a home favorite isn't great. They're 3-2, 4-1 against, but Seattle is 11-2 against the number in a teaser. So that's why if you get Seattle, if the number turns LA -2, you jump on Seattle. You take the 7.5, 8 points. That's the key to teaser betting, and that's the key how to really hurt the Vegas guys who think they know what they're doing, because they'll move a line from 2 to 2, right, from -2 here to -2 the other way, thinking they know so much, because it's not being moved by the money apparently. So they must know what they're doing, which I don't agree with, because that's not how you do it. And I'll vehemently defend that. The line makes the betting even, so you got to come up with a line, and once you come up with it, you don't move it 4 points. That's how you get screwed, because people bet both sides. So why in the world would you ever do that, especially here? So like last week, I had Atlanta, New Orleans. My first inclination, I thought Atlanta would be a 3-point favorite. It opens at Atlanta by 2. It goes New Orleans by 2. So I take Atlanta and 8, and then game day, Atlanta's a 3-point favorite. I take New Orleans and 9. Put them with Seattle. Guess what? They both come in. This game ended at a 3, and I had both teams getting more than a touchdown, and all I cared about was a close game, which I got. And that's really, you want to screw around and change your spread from 2 to 2. Be my guest, but that's not what the Teaserking looks forward to mistakes made by the bookies. Let's see. Let's go to 16. Seattle 10-4 as a home favorite, only 68%. They must not have done too well last year. 10-4 bet against the Rams. It's hard to use their trends. They are 9-2 as a road dog, 13-3 on the road. Overall, they're kind of a lousy home team. But again, that was last year. See, if you notice, the teams without a really good offense, and the Rams were terrible on offense last year, they don't win. They don't cover very much, because you got to be able to score points to cover. Because once you're behind and you don't have a good offense, then the other team piles it on, gets a pick, blitzes you, and if they know you got to pass and they're blitzing you, you're screwed. So you ain't going to score a lot of points. You're not going to get the W's. So that's why I look for the quarterback. I need the points to bet the game. Let's go to 2015. Rams 7. The Rams are 14-3 now as a road dog, 82%. Seattle only 15-7 as a home favorite, 17-5 as a bet against home favorite. So, you think, well, nobody can win in Seattle. Well, that's not what's happening. It's a very playable play, betting against them as a home favorite if you have a good road dog. And Washington lit them up. It was like 17-14. They didn't light them up, but they won the game. So you have that. And real quickly, the season series since 2010, LA at Seattle. Again, when the game's in Seattle, Seattle's 10-1. The favorite is 9-2. But when you get closer in 2012, everything's 4-1. So the favorite, the dog, LA and Seattle. So the last 5 have been close. Seattle's only 5-5 as the favorite, but the dog is LA, is 9-1. And that's my point. So the last 5 shows you the trend. And that's why I do a long-term trend and a closer trend. In the 2006 trend, you'd go, I'll take Seattle. They're 10-1 at home. And when you get to 2012 to 2016, all of a sudden it's a Ram play. And since 2010, it's Seattle's 6-1 at home. The Rams are 10-2 as the dog. The dog is 12-2 in the series. So the dog is the play, especially if it's Seattle. Now here's where it's really interesting by trend. Seattle is 6-1 when the game's in Seattle, and 2-5 when the game's in LA or St. Louis. So they had trouble, and mostly as the favorite. The dog is 12-2 in the series. So that's really what you're looking for. They play each other. They're familiar. That first meeting. It should be closer games. You take the dog there. All right, game 2. Let's go to Philly and the Giants. Even though Carson Wentz got injured, Nick Foles is fine. He started a lot. I think Philly's got a good defense. I think the offense is pretty much here you go. The one thing I got to say about Wentz is you can't run. This is not college. This is why all these college quarterbacks get hurt, because they run. And in college, you can kind of get away with it. You can't get away with it in the pros. The secondary is way too fast. The linebackers are way too fast. And they're going to hit to hurt. They're going to hit to injure. It's the nature of the game. Get the quarterback out. That's what they're trying to do. Get the key player out. That's the name of the game in the NFL. It's a hard-hitting game, but absolutely. I see a lot of these defensive linemen rolling up the offensive linemen. Absolutely. 100%. They're doing it on purpose. They know the guy's there, and they whip into him, and all these offensive linemen go down, and guess what? The defensive lineman's like smiling, going, yeah, I got rid of that guy. Now I can get a bunch of sacks. If you ever watched the movie North Dallas 40, if you haven't watched it. It's about like the Dallas Cowboys in the 70s. But there's a scene in it when the defensive player is just killing the quarterback. And the quarterback goes, you guys got to take care of him. So one guy starts blocking him. The other guy blocks into his knee and takes his knee out. And they're all excited. Yeah, you got him out of the game. And that's pretty realistic what happened. So a lot of these offensive linemen are getting rolled up on purpose. The concussions are just because of the bad turf. This rubber tire turf, it's very hard. The helmets aren't prepared for the hit. The ground's hard. It's just a terrible condition to play, and that's what's really causing all these concussions. Let's see. So Philly and the Giants. Let's go to the 2006 to 16 trend. Giants and Philly. When the game's in New York, which is where it is, Philly is 10-2. The dog 11-1. Philly is the favorite here. They're only 6-5 as the favorite, but the Giants are only 8-3 as the dog. Philly as the dog's 12-1, so it's too bad the Giants aren't favorite here. That was my lock games mostly were Philly at Dallas, Philly at the Giants getting points, and I'd lock and I'd clean up because those are really what you're looking. It's a dog series, but in this case, I think Philly is a better play here because they just are better and not as banged up. Since 2012 in New York, Philly's 4-1, the dog's 4-1. Philly's 3-1 is the favorite. Philly is 8-2 in the 10 games if you just took Philly every time. The Giants nothing. And since 2010, Philly's 6-1, the dog's 6-1. So basically, the Giants have been favored most of the time because the Giants are 2-5. And the favorite 2-5, and Philly's 6-1, and the dog's 6-1. So obviously, what's been happening is the Giants have been home favorites, and Philly will get the number, and they'll cover, and they'll beat them because they're, the Giants are 2-5. That means Philly's killing them. Again, the Giants as a favorite are 2-6, but Philly's 7-1 as the dog. So you can see exactly what's happening. These games in New York have been New York favorite and Philly winning. Philly's 4-2 is the favorite. New York 3-3. Overall, the Giants are 5-9 against Philly in the series. Philly is 11-3. So you have total domination by Philly against the Giants. Heads up, which is what we're looking for. If you look at the Giants injury report, they got the whole team's injured. they don't have a coach, and it's just, you know, people, oh, well, they'll play good next week. You know, last week when they get the new coach, you know, they still are a bad team. Their key is, again, their defense isn't playing well, and they can't run the ball. And keep in mind, Teaserking lesson 501, my master's program, if you can't run, you can't rest your defense. Means your defense will get tired, means you will lose games, because by the fourth quarter, your defense, you either have all your second unit out there, or they're so tired they can't stop the win, and the other team blows you out. In the NFL, the offense is always seems to be much easier to play the whole game than the defense, who's more emotional and more spending energy. That's why you have to run the ball to win, to rest your defense. That's how you win every game, is your defense has to be rested. That's why it's critical you run the ball, and that's why you see these teams, you know, you look at the stats, and all the top teams have a great defense, and I'll go through that again with you in a minute. So this is totally a Philadelphia series. Let's look at the numbers. 2017, Philadelphia 12-1 in a teaser. 2-1 is a road favorite. They were 12-0. No, they lost that game a couple weeks ago. Oh, at Seattle, which I never, you know, you don't bet against Coach Pete at home. I was glad they were the dog last week against the Rams. It was one of my stronger plays. Bet against Philly 1-2 as a favorite, 5-8. I mean, you don't want to bet against Philly, 12-1. The Giants are 6-7 against the number, 1-3 as a home dog. 11-2 bet against on the Giants. It's a beautiful match. You have a team 12-1 against the number against a team that's 11-2 against the number. New York at home, 5-1 bet against, 3-1 bet against as a home dog. Perfect, just what you want. It's a perfect storm. You got a very good team playing a team that doesn't cover it all. In a series where the Philly wins in the Giants, and Philly owns the Giants. It's a perfect play. Let's look at 2016. Philadelphia 25-4, 86% against the number. Their only weakness is as a road favorite. They're 3-2. It's their worst percentage. They're 9-1 as a home favorite, 4-0 as a home dog, 9-1 as a road dog. This is why I tell you to be careful about road favorites. It's very hard to be a road favorite and win, because you got to go on the road and win by a touchdown at least, versus I can lose by a touchdown as the road dog and still get the money. Or at home, yeah, it's easy to win at home as the favorite, or easier. The Giants, home dog, 3-3, 20-10 against the number, 67%. Bet against the Giants as a home dog, 4-2. But the Giants bet against 24-6, 80%. So now you have Philly 25-4 with the number. The Giants 24-6 against the number. Again, very, very strong trends in all my scenarios, right? I'm not just looking at the numbers here and going, oh, I'm going to bet it because they're 12-2. It helps, but I'm also looking at head-to-head when I can get it. Who matches up? Because that's how you're going to predict it, right? I'm going to predict it based on the way they played the last 5 or 10 games. If one team is always winning, then I'm going to play it. In other words, let's say you're playing roulette and blacks come in the last 5 times. Your bet better be black, not red, because you can only lose the black bet once. You can lose the red bet. If you keep betting red against, you can lose it 100 times. So black hits, you win. Black hits again, you win. Black hits again, you win. Okay, red hits. That's it. I've won 3 blacks. I've lost my red. I'm up 2. And that's it. The guy who's betting red loses, and then finally wins, but he's lost 3. He's 1-3, chasing the color to change. No, you go with the color. You always go with. You never go against. So here we go. 2015 Philly road favorite, 6-2, 34-11 versus the number, 76%. Philly's also 6-2 bet against as a road favorite. That's fine. The Giants 6-3 as a home dog. A bet against home dogs 7-2. Bet against the Giants 37-9. 80% since 2015. So again, you have Philly, and they're just getting the new coach, and Wentz has only been there 2 years. So people ask me, well, how do you handle the new guy? Well, the stats just handle the new guy. They handle the new coach. They handle the new quarterback, because the stats come out as the stats come out, and that's the beauty of it. You just look at it going, okay, I guess I'll take Philly. You don't put any, now, there's other methods. Does Philly need the game? Absolutely. They want to clinch the 1 seed. So they're motivated versus Minnesota. So there's that extra motivation. They're not going to come out flat. That's why I was surprised about New England, because they needed it. Now they're a game behind Pittsburgh. Now they have to win this game. I'm shocked at the line. The Pitt should be a 3-point favorite here, and it would be a lock New England at 9. Instead, they make New England a 3-point favorite, and it's hard to bet. See, that's the problem. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady in a big game after the way he played like crap Monday night, because he was, on the fix. Okay, we'll lay down here, and then, okay, now I'm going to play. So this week, look for Brady to play. But anyway, it would have been a better bet, Pitt favored. But it'll be New England laying the 3. I'll probably go over with that game, just because I think I never know with New England. I didn't think Miami could score any points on them, so I didn't go over or under. I took New England. Had I known Miami was going to score, I would have taken the over, because I thought New England always scores. This game, I think it's over, because I think Pitt can score with Shazier out. It's going to be, it's going to be a high-scoring game, and New England's defense, who the hell knows which defense is going to show up. This is part of the problem with the NFL. It's so inconsistent. It's hard to really get a read and go black, because you can't. They shut out somebody, they give up 27. They shut out somebody, they give out. You have no idea which team's showing up, especially Miami, who has no offense at all. You watch, Miami won't score much against Buffalo this week. So anyway, that's that. So let's look at the third and last thing. My scoring statistic trend, and we've got Philadelphia is the #1 team in the league. They score 31, they give up 19, they're plus 11. Second is the Rams, third is Jacksonville, fourth is New England. That's how I go. That's off the variance, scoring versus defense. Now, it works a lot. It worked with Philly against the Rams. It didn't work with New England, Miami. So it's not like it's a 100% sure-proof thing, but it helps when you get a better team as the dog, I feel, or a real strong team playing a real weak team, such as Philly and the Giants, right? So let's look. So Philly is 11.9 better, and so they score 31 a game. They give up 19. Great defense. This is important. Here's the Giants. They score a whole 15 a game and give up 24. They're a -10. I got a 21 here. I got Philly 11.9 better, and I got the Giants at a -9.4. They only score 15 a game. They give up 24. I would have preferred Wentz in the game laying 10, but it's okay. I got Folk laying 7. I still think Folk can move the team. I think they have good balance. I love their defense giving up 19. So how's the Giants going to score when they score 15 a game against a team that gives up 19 a game? Right? So you got a very strong defense going to hold the offense down because they can't run the ball. They'll score at least 20. At worst, it'll be 24 to 10. What are we looking at? We're laying 1.5 with Philly. I mean, it's a joke because of Foles. Okay, fine. Foles has played before. These guys in the pros, they're not as bad. It's not like the guy's never played organized football at any stage. I mean, it's just a joke. He was good at Arizona, and he's played well in the pros. It's not like he doesn't know how to play. So that's what I'm saying. What you have here is in this trend, it shows you better how good and how bad the teams are. So you have an outstanding team in Philly playing a really weak team, the Giants. So there's another trend. In the games, Philly matches up well, beats the Giants. In the trends, Philly's covering every week. The Giants are a bet against. Everything says take Philly. We're taking Philly -1. We're playing them with the Rams +8. Bet your house on this game. I mean, this is a beautiful teaser. I try to give you a lot of theories because I'm not a salesman, and a lot of people ask me, well, why did you pick the game? Why did you play this game or that? Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. When I go through this analysis, I'm doing this for every single game, pro and college. Okay, so a regular college week takes me 3-4 days to really look at all the college games. The pros, I got down to about 3 hours of study and then check the injuries out and check, do they need, like now it's more Philly's looking for the 1 seed, the Giants are out of the playoffs, and I'm looking, so I write down, okay, Pittsburgh, yep, they need it for the playoffs. Yep, New England, they need it for the playoffs. Buffalo, yep, they need it. Minnesota, yep, they need it. Carolina, Green Bay, yeah, it's a playoff game. So you just want the intensity. You know the team will come to play. And then you look at the stats to see, are they comfortable as a favorite or dog at home, on the road? How are they doing scoring-wise? Because that's the whole key to it, right? They can't score, then they can't win. They can't win, you don't want to bet on them. So basically that's it. Again, the month is on sale for $250 for 4 weeks. College bowls are on sale, $150 for all the way through, starting this week all the way through the playoffs. I have one college game going this week. It's a goodie too. It's a real strong play that's the bookies are misled by it. Let's put it that way. The quarterback's been hurt all year, has come back, and the team's a totally different team with the starting quarterback. They score a lot more. So it's a real strong, it's a sneaky play because the line's not right. The line, most of the line's based on averages, so they're looking at how this team scores versus how the other team scores, and they're going, oh, we're going to place the over-under here. And it's at least 10 points under what it should be when the starting quarterback plays and he's playing. So a little Teaserking there for you. So anyway, I got that one play going. And I might do a bowl video. There's not a whole lot of action yet. I'll do one as we get closer to the better stuff. But anyway, there's your lock. Not a lock. There's your strong play, let's say. Take Philadelphia -1 in a series they own against the Giants. Take the Rams +7.5, 8 against Seattle. They're 9-1 in the series. They got the better, I'd say they have the better offense, probably the better defense. They can run the ball, which is going to be critical to rest their defense. Russell Wilson, I mean, so what I'm saying, if you get them as, if the line goes to the Rams -2, jump all over Seattle. You want the dog in this game. The matchup is all dog, especially if Seattle's a home dog. Then you really kill it. It's a lock at that point. Right now, and again, the spread moves so much, it's unbelievable how bad the bookies are in Vegas. They're totally clueless. I honestly think Vegas will be gone in about 10 years. They don't understand their casinos. They chase everybody away with their high food prices. They don't even cater to the gamblers. It's $50 blackjack, $25 craps, so nobody wants to play there. You have all these nightclubs catering to the young girl from LA who's not a gambler and has no money. You have high food prices, which chase people out of your casino. High gambling prices. So really there's nothing that draws you into the casino anymore. Everything draws you out. The places that don't charge for parking and have affordable food are the ones that actually people will go to. There's no value in overpaying to stay at the nicer casinos where you can't even gamble there. So really, it's a dying town. I feel that it's just the business model is gone. It's you know, it went from, hey, come on in and gamble, to stay out. We don't want gamblers in here. We're gonna run it like it's you know, LA. We're gonna charge a lot for the rooms and the food and have Wolfgang Puck, and we're gonna really charge a lot. And 99% of the people who aren't millionaires, I guess there's strictly millionaires coming from California to go to Vegas, I assume. I don't know how an average person drives down, pays for parking, pays for the outrageous food and hotel, and you know, and goes back like, oh, okay, I'll just go to my money tree and grab another million. I don't see it. So Vegas is in big trouble. They're charging just to watch football at some of the casinos. It's absolutely backwards management. You don't want expensive food. You don't want expensive parking and expensive shopping. And you know, it's I don't know who your target audience is. There's not that many millionaires who are running to play blackjack. When you get $1 million or multi-million dollars, you're not playing blackjack. You're at home counting your money. You've got it invested in high quality stocks, gold. I mean, you're not risking. When you've got a lot of money, you don't risk it. When you don't have a lot of money, you risk it, but it's got to be affordable to risk. All right, I had to get that off my chest. All right, everybody, www.teaserking.com. I got one pro lock going, and it's not any of the games I've talked about. We have one college play this week. The bowls, 150 for the whole bowl season, 250 for the month, or any the next 4 weeks. You got playoff weeks coming all the way through New Year's in the pros, the next 4 weeks, and off you go. So another strong week by Teaserking last week, hitting my lock. Or did I have a lock? No, I didn't have a lock last week. I had a lock 2 weeks ago that hit, and I got a lock this week. I might have 2 locks, but I'm still reading. All right, everybody, www.teaserking.com. Good luck. Have a great weekend. Have a great holiday. Christmas, New Year's coming up. All right, everybody. Take care.